everybody, I hope you are doing well. I'm a Fefe with Touch by Tarot and Beyond, and I am here to do a political reading today. I mix it up. If you're new to my channel, I mix it up a little bit. I do a lot of politics, but I also do the spiritual, the spiritual growth, spiritual journey, healing, and all of that. Always new moon and full moon. I do pick a card readings, but on the regular, couple, 2-3 times a week, especially in the times we're living in, I check in with you all politically. If you're not familiar with me, you're new here, welcome. I hope you like what you see. Hit that like and subscribe button. I'm a former journalist, and so my approach, even as a spiritualist, my approach to my readings is both kind of grounded in trying to get the facts and the truth, but also in kind of staying grounded in that, but also, got to go to spirit and get that, get that added layer of understanding that we all seek, especially now. So that said, y'all, we are getting to that day. Tuesday the 10th is that long awaited debate between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. There was a lot of concern back and forth about would he even, was he going to back out? Was he going to stand up to it? Was he even still going to be around? There was some, over the past few months, there's some issues around his health. And whether he was going to make it. My guides always said, it felt like it was going to happen and that he would not, while he would want to figure out a way to get out of it, and who knows, we still got several days. He's so unpredictable. But it did feel like he's so ego driven that he would, even against his abilities, because the odds are stacked against him with, facing off against someone like Kamala Harris. And that's what this reading is going to be about. I want to see, finish that point. He just refuses to back down. He doesn't want to appear to be afraid of her, although I think he is terrified. That's how my guides have been giving it to me, maybe you all as well. He is terrified of her. Joe Biden, Trump's ego was so full, he was just like, no problem, I'll get rid of this guy. We know how disrespectful and dismissive and horrible he was towards Hillary Clinton. We know the stories around how he has treated and spoken about Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, etc. So this is someone who has never faced an opponent like Kamala Harris, who is, who on so many levels, she checks so many boxes going back to her experience as a prosecutor and now vice president and now presidential candidate. He's really boxed in, you all. So I want to go to spirit and take a look and see basically how they're looking in their prep. From what we hear, Kamala Harris is in Pittsburgh, I believe, hunkered down with her advisors, learning, timing her responses within the 2-limit time frame of what's going to happen at the debate on ABC on Tuesday. So she's handling business. Trump is out here doing his infamous now, he's calling it the weave, when he just rambles on about sharks and batteries and bacon and whatever else in the context of economic policy. Like, his cognitive decline is starting to get a lot of headlines, the same types of headlines that Joe Biden was getting. He's not liking that at all. But I want to take a look and see, you all. I want to look at both of them and see, as they're really, closing in on this debate, how they're both doing mentally, physically, spiritually. What's that state of mind? Because I get the impression that Donald Trump is scared out of his wits. He is terrified to face Kamala Harris on Tuesday. So let's see what's going to happen here. All right. At the bottom of the deck, I have commitment. I'm using, by the way, somebody's going to ask, because a lot of you are into reading cards. This is a Kipper deck. It's called Kipperish. It's a new creator. I think you can find it on Etsy if you're interested, if you like what you see. But anyway, first card, commitment. So that's both of them recognizing, and especially I feel like this is more on Trump's end, that he cannot afford to appear weak as it relates to facing off against Kamala Harris. So that's that commitment. Now I want to take a look specifically at Donald Trump. Spirit, how is Donald Trump feeling? The truth of how he's feeling as this debate approaches closer. Concern. All right. This is a big deck too, you all. It's got a ton of cards in here. I think it's like 80 something cards. So what an interesting spirit is on deck, and calling it out, calling it for what it is. He is tremendously concerned. And look, even I love the hand in the mouth. Like, what am I supposed to say? What am I going to say? So there's concern. What else for Donald Trump? Ancestors. That's an interesting card. I have a feeling that there's something. Spirit. Are these the collective ancestors either of Kamala Harris and or in general the ancestral realm that's coming in to deal with him? Are they weighing in and dealing with him on his behavior? Obsession. You know what? Oh my gosh, I wasn't expecting this, you all. Part of Donald Trump's concern is over his long-term racism and the whole MAGA faction. He is conscious of the race baiting that he's done. He's convinced himself of why he does it. But this feels like he is obsessed with the fact that she is a black woman, not only a woman, and we already know about his women issues, but that she is a black woman. And there's an ancestral component from a spiritual level. If this man dreams at all, and if he recalls his dreams, I get the impression he's getting his behind handed to him in the spirit realm from the ancestral realm in particular. There's a priest. There's someone he's relying on within his evangelical realm to bolster him. There's someone who he's relying on to tell him he has been chosen. He's the chosen one. We know all of these stories around, the assassination attempt, and now we know that God has him where he's supposed to be. There's somebody who's feeding him that information, but to the extent that we're looking at where his mindset is prepping for this debate, he is needing that propping up from some spiritual counselor, advisor who's telling him, you don't have to worry about this. God's got you. You're the one. You're in the right place at the right time. You all get it. So that's his frame of mind. Now I want to take a look at Kamala Harris. Spirit, how's Kamala Harris? What is her state of mind, her spirit, while she is prepping for this debate on Tuesday? How's Kamala Harris doing? What is the truth of how she feels in this time, in this moment? She's thinking about family. Look how the energy switched already, you all. She's thinking about her family. She's surrounded by family, even as, everybody's off on the campaign trail doing their thing. But she feels, this also feels like the vibe of her campaign staff, that there is genuinely a camaraderie and she feels supported as she prepares. She's got her tribe, her family around her that's preparing her for this debate and for any eventuality. Manifestation. You see how the energy changed between these two people? Manifestation. That speaks volumes, because this is something that we know. She managed to launch a campaign in 2020, right? So this is not just, Kamala Harris is not just in this position in her spirit because Joe Biden decided to withdraw. She had aims. She had presidential aims and ambitions long before now. She feels qualified. She genuinely feels like she's laid the groundwork. She's done the work. She is the best person for the job. So this manifestation, what else, Spirit? Work, labor, and efforts. Gosh, I love this work. Because again, in contrast to what we were seeing around Trump. So remember, she's been doing a lot of work. She and Walz both, and their campaign in general, doing a lot of work to appeal to labor, to appeal to the working class, to labor unions, to getting those endorsements. So that is going to be in her prep for the debate. the economy and labor and policies around building labor and building jobs in the country, that is going to be that's a part of her main focus right now, and we can expect to see really strong strong arguments on her behalf or from her around that issue. Anything else, Spirit? How else is Kamala doing? She has rich girl. I think that's her, and the conflict. Okay, because she's ready. He's going to try and portray her as, and I think this may be in some of her debate prep, where she is being prepped for how he's going to come after her and try to attack her character, that she's entitled, that she's a part of this liberal elite, etc., etc. So there's the conflict, but she is completely ready for it. She's completely ready for it. And she's going to, she's like, hello, I'm here. She's ready, completely confident, completely ready. He's being haunted, obsession, concern. You see the difference in that energy, right? The concern, the obsession. Again, I think his butt is getting handed to him by the ancestral realm. All right, you all. So that's how things are looking. And I pulled one more card on Trump, and look what came, the divine feminine. Yeah. There's going to be some interesting times ahead for him. Some really, really interesting times ahead for him. From a karmic perspective, from a spiritual perspective, from the perspective of the divine feminine and how he has treated women. Yeah, all of that. We reap what we sow, right? Not wishing anything. That's not my vibe. That's not what we're here for. But it is going to be very interesting. And again, you saw how drastically different the energies were, how the cards came for the two of them. So let's get ready for Tuesday. It's going to be really, really interesting. All right, you all. Also, I want to take a look at Juan Mershon. His legal checkmate. I know a lot of people felt very disappointed and frustrated about the fact, here we go yet again with another delay. You know, he made the initial delay to September, and now he's pushed it to November. But I think Juan Mershon is being extremely, like I said, the word that Spirit gave me was checkmate. It's where there's this sense of, we can see what's going to happen. There is no way, immunity decision from SCOTUS or not, the quote, part of his decision, and I should have copied it so I could read it aloud, but you can find it. Part of Juan Mershon's decision, when he's announced it, said that basically he makes reference to the jury of Trump's peers having handed down, this verdict, this unanimous verdict, right? 34 counts. He speaks that in a way that it feels like he's intimating that cannot be just tossed out because of SCOTUS's immunity situation. I think he's extremely conscious, the guides are saying, around the timing element. And had he handed down a sentence prior to the election, that it could have swayed voters, the MAGA faction, to really, or those MAGA leaning and those still skeptical of Kamala Harris. It could have really worked in Trump's favor if there had been a strong sentencing. But let's take a look and see I want to take a look at Juan Mershon and see ultimately in November, is Juan Mershon looking at a strong sentence against Donald Trump? Is he going to give Donald Trump a strong sentence? There's everything on the table, everything from actual jail imprisonment to house confinement to lesser things like probation or even fines. There's so many things that are available to him, to Juan Mershon. Let's see what comes up. We have the Ice King. That's so cool. This is him refusing. He's taken so much heat since he was assigned to this case, and all during the trial, etc. We know the frustrations around Trump and his allies' attacks on Juan Merchan's daughter. So there's a part of him that has had to withstand that heat and maintain his cool, keep a cool head, keep his composure. So let's see. The Ice Queen. Ooh. Now look again how thick this deck is. You heard me shuffling. That's not accidental. Juan Merchan is paying attention to the other trials as well, especially relating to Tanya Chutkan. That's how this feels. Remember, she made major moves this week as well. She said, no, we're going to go ahead, election or no election. We're going to schedule some things. And so I think late September, she's got filings that are due from Jack Smith and Trump's team. I think he's not modeling what he does after her by any means. Entirely different scenarios. But I do think he respects her, and I think he is keenly aware and keeping an eye on the federal cases as well, and especially the new developments around Tanya Chutkan. We have a soulmate here and a gift. And a sweetheart. Wow, this is really interesting. I didn't expect to see lovey-dovey stuff coming up around Juan Merchan. I don't know, and I have not researched. I don't know if he's married. I don't know his status. I'm not sure what's happening. Am I holding this upside down? I'm sorry. But it almost looks like he's... Why would that come now? I'm intrigued. Why would that come in the context of his sentencing? You know, on a practical level, it feels like what Spirit is saying here is Juan Merchan is aware of the fact that he does have a life outside of this case, outside of this sentencing. And perhaps what this is saying is he's thinking about that. He's thinking long term. He's thinking about once he does this, what his life is going to look like in the wake of that decision. I don't feel like that means he's going to go soft in any way. I just think he's got someone in his corner, someone who's there for him that's saying, you can do this. You're going to do the right thing. You're going to be okay. And once this is all over, babe, it's about me and you. He's got, again, I'm surprised. Is he married? Now, when I get through with this taping, I'm going to go take a look at that. But yes, there's someone in his corner who is both helping him and bolstering him in his energy for holding off on this decision. But I want to see more. Spirit, please show me the decision itself. We got courthouse. All right, let's go. Let's see what we get. Let's see where we go. The courthouse. Concern again. We know who that is. We saw that in the earlier portion of the reading. Donald Trump is just totally worried about what this sentence is going to be when it gets handed down. The distant future. I think this is the timing of it. How long, whatever punishment he makes, whatever decision he hands down, the length of it. Trusted and actual money. So this is what the case is around. The hush money trial. That's what it was around. And trusted. He wants to be trusted. He needs to be sure that, and that's where that sweetheart is coming in, that soulmate. He wants to be sure that his decision ultimately is trusted. He cares deeply about the place in history that he will hold and already is holding as the judge overseeing this trial. There's going to come the immunity situation and what needs to be parsed out around what the jurors decided in unanimously that can, and then after that the SCOTUS decision. So it's going to come around to, his decision is going to have a lot to do with tracking when that money was paid, how that money was paid, where he was in his campaign when that money was paid, and the extent to which the whole presidential immunity thing may not hold water. It may not hold water at all. We have the ancestors coming again. You all, as an overarching theme, I'm getting that there is this spiritual component around what is happening with Donald Trump, with the trials, with the election, etc. That there's a karmic effect. There is a lot on the line, and it is not just us, looking at this and dealing with this, that there is a very strong spiritual aspect to this where what needs to be held and what needs to be done is on their behalf as well. Manipulation. He's not going to be manipulated. And he feels and he recognizes the extent to which Trump's team has tried to manipulate him in every aspect of it. At the end of the day, a transition and the evil eye. It ain't going to be good. I'll leave it at that. It ain't going to be good. When he brings this evil eye, for me, says this would be from the MAGA faction. He is going to hand down. Juan is going to hand down quite a sentence. I have a card in this deck for imprisonment, and that has not shown. I'm going to pull 3 more cards. Spirit, if Donald Trump will be sentenced to jail, behind bars, or some sort of confinement, please show me that in an image. We have an earth angel. I'll show it to you. I want 3 cards. A pathway. And an unexpected money. What is that? Unexpected money. And a third party. Huh. Okay. There's someone who is, what I'm getting from this, you all, I get it. So there's a pathway, an earth angel. This mature woman shows up for him. And she's a third party. They're calling her a stitch, but you can put a B in front of that, right? And some unexpected money. There's somebody who, I think if it turns out to, so that's not imprisonment. We didn't get jail. So I'm going to go ahead and, as of now, think that's not what's happening. I don't think that's what Marshawn's going to do. I think this may be more where he is confined in some way, but there is someone who is going to come to his aid and help him during this time, financially, whether it is to try and continue to appeal it in some way, to shift it in some way. There is a woman, and then there's the karmic masculine that shows up. There's somebody who's going to come and try and rescue him, essentially. When Juan Marshawn hands down this sentence, you all, and again, I'm feeling more confinement. It may be house arrest. It may be putting him in another building away from Mar-a-Lago. So Mar-a-Lago almost feels like that would just be too cushy, right? But we'll see. But wherever he is, there is and this is not Melania. This is not Melania. This is someone of means, of independent means, someone who perhaps even has a crush on him. But this is someone who's going to try and step in and help soften the blow. All right? I can't wait to see who that is. But it's somebody who really is into him. And she wants to be seen, even for political reasons. Oh, God, I hope it's not Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley's been making noises about, why aren't you putting me to work? She is saying, not only has she flipped the script and kissed the ring and said, yes, I absolutely endorse Donald Trump after everything that she was the anti-Trump. But she has been making noise lately. Like, why isn't the campaign reaching out to me? Put me on the stoops. Get me out there. I'm ready to go and help do this work. Like, what's up with that? So that's an interesting. It could be her, but there's money involved. Mature woman. I almost feel like this is more somebody not political. This is more somebody who's in politics, but who wants to step in and hug him and hug up on him. Ugh. Okay, I gotta move on from that one, you all. And so finally, the last thing that I wanted to take a look at today is Benjamin Netanyahu. We know and we heard that there's been a killing of another American citizen. I think she's from Turkey, but still American citizen, by the IDF. Killed her. She was an aid worker, helping, being active, doing the right thing, trying to make a difference in the world, and now she's gone. There's continued unrest in Israel. We know all of that. But here's what I didn't know, and maybe you didn't either. One of Benjamin Netanyahu's sons, Yair, 33 years old, was so far extreme right and is so far extreme right. Media podcaster, social media influencer type guy. He got in such hot water that they got him out. They had to get him out of Israel, but after the war commenced, and he is, guess where of all places, South Florida. So Benjamin Netanyahu's son got scooped away, stored, nice and safe in reportedly, a $5,000 a month cushy luxury condo apartment in South Florida. Word is that he's been here before. He's traveled here. He's known as a party boy. Blah blah blah. 33 years old. Whatever. But here's the kicker. He is here with coverage from, what do they call their CIA? It's like the equivalent of our CIA, Shin Bet. I hope I may be mispronouncing that. I'm sorry. But the Shin Bet. So Netanyahu sent him here to keep him safe because he was getting in some hot water for his extreme tactics around the war, taking up for his father. Sounds like a real piece of work. And so he has coverage. Netanyahu sent to keep him safe here, $55,000 a month, almost or equivalent, they said, of $700,000, almost $1 million US dollars a year to keep Yair safe here in America. I want to know, is that part of Bibi's plan? That should this continue to, or when it continues, because this has got to come to a head in Israel. The Israelis are done with him. They are done with him. I'm wondering if he is planning to try and come to America. And if that was a part of the meeting. Remember when he was here a few months ago, he left D.C., went down to Mar-a-Lago and had his little tete-a-tete with Donald Trump. I wonder if he will try to escape to Florida it's got to be Florida. If it's going to be the U.S., it's got to be Florida. Is that on Bibi's radar? That if things continue to go south for him and he has to make a run for it, would he come to Florida? And has Donald Trump given him assurances that he could figure out a way to help him stay here? Okay, so here's his child. This is Yair, his son here. We got this trusted card again. He trusts the safety of his son here. Mind you, there are so many people in that age range who have given up their businesses, tech giants, etc., Israeli tech giants, who have stepped away and been conscripted or at least signed up as reservists to the Israeli army. Because they're, for love of country. This guy's over here, they say that the Shin Bet, the equivalent of the CIA, they stand guard for him while he goes to the sauna. What? Really? Okay. I have divination and a conflict and the karmic masculine. If this is something that was talked about, and I do believe it was, And this divination, meaning looking to the future, planning for the future, trying to figure out what his options are based on the conflict that he's dealing with, Bibi is dealing with in Israel. So those conversations have been had, and it is a thought that he's had. But I'm really drawn to the fact that this karmic masculine has come, and he will not. There would be something to stop that. It's so interesting. I'm pulling in, very similar cards for him and for Trump. There's abuse of power. That's There's abuse of power. There's the destruction of his and change that comes. So the timing of his ability to hold on to power is definitely shrinking. But he ain't going to make, even if he manages to get to Florida, he won't be able to stay. That karmic aspect of it, there's something there where he would not be allowed to hide out for so long. All right, you all? Take good care. I'll check back in with you either right prior to or right after the debate between Kamala and Trump. It's going to be good. Take good care of yourselves. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.